I mean, so first of all, we really appreciate your time. How's life treating you at the moment?
Yeah, not too bad. Sort of adjusting to the switch back into relatively normal life, which
Yeah,
is
whatever that is.
yeah,
Yeah, I'm not. I can't really recall what that was. I'm not even sure my life was normal before the pandemic, but I'm going back to what was normal.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, and yeah, it's a good feeling though, to be let out of the flat for sure.
definitely. So where are you based?
I'm in Greenwich, so
Oh, okay,
southeast
yeah.
London.
Okay, so I mean, just going back to the start of kind of like your musical career, I believe you started playing in kind of hotels and piano bars. Is that true? Is it?
yes, yeah. That is what I was doing. Yeah, I did that for a couple of years. I mean, I was in a band for a little while, and then sort of to bridge the gap in between leaving that band, the originals band, and where I am now, I was playing at a bunch of piano bars and hotels around London.
Okay, what did you learn from that, and kind of what kind of covers did you do?
What cover? I mean, whatever the drunk people at 3 a.m. wanted, which generally was either "Don't Look Back in Anger" or "Mr. Brightside"
Oh,
on
okay.
repeat. I don't think they ever got bored of that one. Sadly, not as much can be said for me. I was
Yeah,
I was bored. I was bored of that after the first couple of weeks, but hey ho, they're good songs. They're good songs, but maybe not after the 50th time.
no, especially not at 3 o'clock in the morning.
No, no, and well, it's different if you're sort of 10 beers in, but I wasn't.
Yeah,
They were having a great time.
yeah. What did you learn from that as a musician and a performer?
I mean, I think it's just sort of having that experience on stage and getting to play with a bunch of other musicians and
Yeah,
getting to be with a crowd and to expect the unexpected, I guess, especially at 3 a.m. with 400 drunk people shouting Oasis at you.
right.
You sort of learn how to learn how to deal with some big characters and not to let people take your microphone at 3 a.m. You often lose it.
Yeah, I was going to ask any. There must be some good stories you can tell us.
I'm trying to think of some appropriate ones. I mean, I once had a full pint spilt on my keyboard, which was good fun. And then the guy sort of was running around the club away from the bouncers and got tackled to the floor, and it was entertaining. It's entertaining to watch, like adult duck duck goose. It was good fun.
Okay, I mean, your career's moved on from there. I mean, what was the kind of changing point, or what was the turning point where you kind of stepped away from that?
I think probably I mean, I was doing that sort of up until the start of the pandemic. I mean, I was always working on my own material and writing and recording,
Yeah,
but not full time. And I think it was always on the back burner. And the pandemic kind of forced a shift in focus for me. Well, it just gave me free time that I didn't have before. I got so wrapped up in sort of the cycle of doing it to earn money and feeling like I should be responsible and earn some money. But obviously the pandemic put a stop to that cycle and allowed me to put all of my time and energy into reaching out to industry and actually setting the ball in motion and speeding things up, which allowed me to finally jump in head first into releasing my own music.
I was going to ask. I mean, the last 12 months for the music, I mean, especially in this industry, has been pretty brutal for most people. For you, though, it seems to have been quite rewarding, and you seem to have done quite well. Do you think having the kind of space to concentrate on what you really want to do has kind of put you in a better position, or allowed you to get into that position?
It definitely has. It's been a blessing in disguise in some ways for me. Aside from the not being able to visit the pubs, I think not being able to play at the piano bars and really forcing my hand and giving me that headspace to be like, right, this is it, this is the time. And I haven't really thought about anything else other than my own music and what surrounds that and furthering that side of my life since, well, when was it? In March last year.
This whole blurred
That's
into one.
what I've lost track. But that's all I've thought about really. from the minute I wake up until the minute I go to sleep.
That's all. It's obviously worked out well for you then, so you must be quite pleased with the way things are going. So
Yeah, so pleased. I mean, it just feels. I mean, this is what I've always wanted to do, and I hope this is just the beginning, really.
okay. I mean, obviously, to start beginning, you've got the new single out. It's a fantastic single. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much.
It's obviously written with a very personal slant, if I'm kind of reading it right.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Is that kind of a common theme about what you write about, personal things?
It is. I mean, certainly that can be said for the first 3 singles that I've released to date. They've all come from very personal experiences, and and have been about my own life. I mean, I do write about other experiences and more observational songs about about observations I've made about other people's lives and what's going on around me. But this song, is certainly about a tough point in my own story, and it's certainly a cathartic process writing the song, and it was a relief to sort of get it out in a way and to get it onto paper and into a microphone.
Yeah, I was going to say, well, what's it like kind of performing a song like that when it really means that much to you personally?
I think by now I've sung it so many times that I can set off the painful side of the moment of writing that song and tune into the positives. I mean, it's still moving for me, but I can tap into the emotion in a more positive and optimistic way rather than entirely despairing.
Okay.
As I was in the moment when I wrote it. It's weird how the stories take on a different meaning for me further down the line when I'm out of the spot that I was when I was writing it, and sort of writing the songs allows me to get out of that spot.
Yeah, I mean, when you're writing personal songs, do you write it from a point of view of this is going to help me? This is kind of like I don't want to say therapy, but a way of helping you through a situation that you're writing about?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily think I need to get it out. I think it's just more natural. I think it's just, it does. Yeah, it is a therapy through music, I guess, for me. And I think I would be in a much worse space mentally had I not been able to have that release. And I feel lucky to have that and to be able to, reason with myself through the songs I write. I feel fortunate to have that outlet.
Okay. And just going back then, I believe you come from quite a musical family. I mean,
I do.
What are your musical memories? Kind of your early memories of music, and what were the kind of, other than your family, what were the musicians that kind of made you follow this path?
Yeah, my earliest musical memories. I mean, probably my very earliest, being completely honest, was singing the Titanic theme song in the back of my grandparents' car. Okay. Apparently that was a regular occurrence. And then another cheesy early memory is putting on an ABBA show with my sister on the coffee table with, I think, for some reason, she was Bjorn or Benny and I had a blonde wig on. I'm not sure why. And I was,
you wanted to admit this on video?
Yeah, this is also a cathartic experience, this interview right now. This is something I feel like I've had to get off my chest for some time now. And I feel a weight has been lifted off of my shoulders. And then moving on from that, I think it was evenings were pretty much spent around the piano after dinner with my dad playing and us all singing along. And I think that was a big sort of encouragement and inspiration for me to be like, yeah, that's what I want to do. And my parents were always listening to this great music, that I was given a good musical education, I'd say, with their vinyls and cassettes. That also, I imagine, was a big influence on me ending up doing what I do now. And sort of listening to.
I was going to say, what kind of stuff were you grow up listening to?
A lot of 70s stuff, a lot of Eagles, Bill Withers, Aretha Franklin, a lot of the Beatles. My dad loved
Van Morrison, Don McLean,
Right.
just these monstrous songwriters, Carole King. The stuff where the song was at the heart of everything you heard, which I think is what made me fall in love with trying to recreate those special moments through. I mean, a lyric is all important to me, and the most frustrating part of the song for me to write, but the most rewarding, I think, when it pays off.
Okay, well, I mean, what is your process for writing? Do you kind of just see a situation, or do you take a situation and just think, right, I'm going to write about that, or?
Different every time. I think it depends. If I'm writing about personal experience and it is that sort of cathartic release, it seems to just happen naturally. I sort of just sit at the piano, and it really is a natural process that the words just seem to sort of spill onto a page. If I'm writing about something else, it's a more thought out approach, and it might start off with just a little lyric idea that I think of usually when I'm driving or just when I want to fall asleep.
Okay.
And then I go and sit at the piano and make up random words as I sing and record it, and then try to work out what the hell I was saying naturally.
Yeah.
But lyrics are generally, I'd say, I think lyrics last. I'd say melody first, lyrics last.
Okay.
But I'll probably prove that wrong tomorrow in my session. So basically, in other words, I have no process. Would have been the quickest answer to that.
I was going to say, you talk about sitting at the piano and just writing. Are you one of these people that'll sit up at 3 o'clock in the morning, wake up with an idea, and then just go and sit at a piano?
I would do, but my girlfriend might not be all too happy about that. I more just put a pillow over my head with my microphone under my pillow and just try and hum it.
Right.
Well, I don't make too much noise. I wish I had the space.
Yeah, I know that.
To have a piano room where I wouldn't wake everyone else in the house up.
Yeah.
But I will be that person, no doubt. I'm definitely a night owl, and I'm writing lyrics until 3 a.m. If I was allowed to write melodies too, that's what I'd be doing.
Perfect. Okay, I mean, I believe you also spent some time living in Sydney.
I did.
Yeah,
I did. Where are you getting all these things from?
I got a very detailed press release.
You do. You must have. I'm sure you've had someone following me. I'm sure.
We'll talk about that offline.
I did live in Sydney for a little while. Yeah.
I mean, what was the kind of story there? Because it's a beautiful country.
It is a beautiful country, and I think if it wasn't so isolated, I'd move there in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
That was just sort of at 18. I was due to be training as an air traffic controller of all jobs. I think my brother and sister, both older than me, were studying these super responsible and academic subjects at uni and going and just being very responsible. And I felt some kind of pressure, I think, to do the same.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, what's the least amount of work I can do for the most amount of money? And I found that air traffic controllers earn a decent living. So I'm like, right, I'll do that then. And did all the training, and thankfully had a bit of a freak out moment. I was like, oh, shit, I can't do this. This can't be what I do from now until I retire. So I went to Australia at 18, and just with the aim of just having some fun for a few months. 3 months later, I spent all my money on alcohol.
That's how you live in Australia. That's how you do it.
And that is pretty. Yeah, they know how to drink. They love a bit of goon. Boxed wine is something I don't want to revisit. That's a period of my life I don't want to go back to. I don't think. But yeah, and so the three months was up. I'd run out of money. I was in the reception of my hostel, sort of frantically looking for a job. At which point a lady came up. She was like, "Oh, hey, are you John for the interview, for the au pair interview?" And I was just like, "Yes." I went along with it to the interview, and then she was like, "Right, I've got a family for you." And then I had to make this whole confession that I wasn't in fact John. At which point she was a little startled, but went along with it, and then put me in touch with the family. I ended up living with this amazing family for the next sort of year and a bit. Yeah, so I was an au pair. I was a manny, as they call it.
Okay.
And ended up teaching the kids how to sort of play the piano, and that was I think that was a bit of a transformative time for me. She was really encouraging. The mum that I worked for was super encouraging. It was like, you'd be mad not to pursue this and really dive in to it and give it your all. So that's what I did, and I came back to London and joined a band. I was with the band for a few years, left the band, which roughly brings me about to where I am now.
Okay, brilliant. And obviously, like I said, you got the brilliant new single out. What can we expect from you music-wise in the future? I guess you're kind of constantly writing, so I'm guessing there's new music on the horizon.
There is so much new music. I was in Barcelona recording a couple of weeks ago, and I've recorded a bunch of new singles, which I'm going to be releasing over the next 10 months or so. It's pretty much going to be a single a month for the next 10 months. So it's hopefully going to be a busy rest of the year for me, with the prospect of touring. Fingers crossed, if all goes to plan and the COVID gods are on our side, then that's my next year planned out pretty much.
Okay, I was going to say, you've got an American-based management company, I believe.
I do, which is a little bit, it's a little bit out of the ordinary, but I've got an American-based management company who I haven't met in person yet. I haven't met my publisher. I haven't met anyone, which is all a little bizarre. I've only met them through a computer screen. Yeah, it's a bit weird. For all they know, I might be half man, half goat at the bottom, but I guess they'll find that out in the summer. I'm hopefully heading over to the States to play a festival in July.
Okay.
Fingers crossed they let me in and I can meet my team. It'd be a good day.
I was going to ask, I mean, is America something that's kind of on your radar in terms of your music?
I think it can't really not be. I think it's everyone's dream to conquer America. I don't know if I'll be conquering anywhere, but I'd love to go over and play some shows for sure.
Yeah. Okay. We do a just for fun question. So something
go on.
You kind of came off quite easy on this.
I am.
What favourite pizza would be, or anything random? I mean, yours was, if a genie offered you 3 wishes, what would your 3 wishes be? And they can be as random as you want.
As random as I want. Oh, God, I wasn't prepared for this. Wish 1 to write with Chris Martin.
Okay.
Wish 2 to God, got to think of something that isn't musical. Outside of the box, Andrew. Think outside the box. All I'm thinking about now is shepherd's pie, because I can smell it. I wish I was eating shepherd's pie. Number 3.
Now I'm hungry.
I mean, not instead of talking to you, maybe whilst talking to you. I wish I could talk whilst eating shepherd's pie.
I would not have stopped you.
No, okay. And I wish I could go on tour tomorrow.
Okay. I can fully appreciate that, because I've missed going to gigs for over a year now. I've missed. Okay. Who would your ultimate tour be with?
Ultimate tour. I mean, I don't want to go back to Coldplay again, but that would be pretty fun experience. Living.
Doesn't have to be. Who would your dream tour? Could be obviously they have to be alive, but because then that would just get weird.
Well, you could do a virtual reality tour.
Yeah, it's not the same though, is it?
No, it's not. It's not quite the same. Living, I think I'd have to say Coldplay.
Okay.
Gonna have to stick with it.
You're the second person that said that this week, so.
Am I? Oh God, bloody predictable.
Yeah, the other guy was randomly an Australian, so.
Oh, there we go.
So
failing that, Who else? Who else would I go for? I feel like we can't have 2 Coldplays in 1 week. I feel like the world might implode. Let's go for James Bay. I feel like that'd be a fun tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Well, you've survived. You can go and get your shepherd's
I survived. I've made it through the other side.
Perfect. We'll finish it there. I mean, we've got everything covered. I really appreciate your time, and good luck for the rest of the year. And
That's a pleasure. Yeah, I'm sure we'll chat again at some point in the future.
Yeah, we'll have a Nando's and carry on this conversation.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm gonna go and eat my shepherd's pie.
Yeah, enjoy it. Thanks for your time.
Right. Catch you later. Have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Take care.
Bye bye.